Okay, this how-to video is going to talk about the visibility pane that's available inside the Cadence PCB tools. So the visibility pane on the right hand side here is a dockable window. You can see the colour changing to blue, so I can dock it in any of these locations, along the top, along the side. I can actually, if you want to dock it in there, so I can actually have it multiple windows side by side if you want to. You can have it docked on top, you can have it docked to the side there. So lots of different locations. You can actually have it just as another one here, which makes it the tabbed options for the different panes that we have. Let's just make it a little bit smaller. So this basically is going to show the default layers from the stack up. So if we look at the cross section of the PCB, you can see I've got the paste mask, the solder mask, etc., the stiffeners, and the 6 layers of the board. The layer stack up for all the other ones are going to be part of the flexes. So obviously if I go to the flexes, you'll start to see the cover lays. If we look at the different flexi options, you can see those there. So the primary board will show that. So they're based on the stack up. That all comes from the cross section editor. The global visibility buttons will turn obviously all the objects on and off. You've got the view options, which will show you things like these are color view files that can be stored. There's something called a view path that controls where these are. These are all the artwork films that are defined. So the artwork films are defined under export and Gerber. So these artwork films list here will then be shown in the view list at the bottom for the films. And then I can actually customize this pane to suit depending on what I want to do. So if we go to the colors, and along the colors there's something called the visibility pane. This allows us to customize what's displayed. So at the moment we've got etch via pin DRC. So you can see the etch via pin DRC. If I wanted to add maybe the boundary, which would be the shape boundary, that would add those objects. I can add maybe the root keep out, so that would add the root keep out layers. So you can customize the options here. There's options to show whether you want to show maybe the global visibility, maybe I don't want to show the views, maybe I don't want to show the stack ups. So you can control it here. You can control the button size, so obviously that will make the buttons a lot smaller. That will make the buttons a lot bigger. We can adjust the spacing, obviously the spacing between all the buttons to make it a lot smaller or bigger. So you have plenty of flexibility on the visibility pane itself. If we actually go to the layers tab and I want to start to include some of the other layers, so there is a filter layer. So if I wanted to look for maybe outline, it's going to show me anything with outline in, so design outline, for example, board geometry. That's quite a default one. That's the outline of the board itself. I can do a right click, add to visibility. That will then customize and add this to the visibility pane. We can do that for cutout as well, so we can use the search filter for cutout. Started to get that. We'll add that one to the visibility. If we do silk for silk screen top and bottom, it's going to show me all the different possibilities for the silk screen top and bottom. And again, you can add these just by right clicking on each colours. You can also access them from obviously the folders. So if we go to geometry, silk screen top and bottom, let's add both of those. So we'll add to visibility. So we'll add the silk screen top and bottom. So I can then quickly access these when I'm looking for them. There's a nets radio button, so we can look at colouring nets, looking for net colours, etc. The display tab will cover things like your transparencies, your shape modes, etc. So it's worthwhile looking at the visibility pane and the colour dialog to find out how to customize and get the display that you want. Once you've got those there, obviously this is a quick access, quick way to turn layers on and off. There's also something called the layer select mode, which turns a lot of these into hyperlinks. So effectively I can then just select these with the left click and it would turn on only those layers. I can use the shift and select to select multiple layers in once. So you do have choices about which layers you want to select and how they're going to work. That would obviously work on these layers as well. Anything that goes into a blue kind of hyperlink would allow you to do a single selection.